Welcome to From the Dust with Joseph. I'm Joseph. Have you ever wondered why Moses was on the Mount of Transfiguration with Elijah? In 2 Kings 2:11 through 12, Elijah is taken up into heaven in a chariot of fire, so it makes some sense that he could be brought back for this purpose. Moses, though, is said to have died in the land of Moab at 120 years old. That's Deuteronomy 34, 5 through 7. So how is he there? He can't have been resurrected yet because the bodies of the saints which slept wouldn't arise and come out of the graves until Matthew 27. That's 10 chapters later than the Mount of Transfiguration. Was Moses there only in the spirit? If that were the case, you would expect some mention of the difference between the two. That being the difference between Moses and Elijah. Today, we'll be reading the Assumption of Moses. This document purports to be the final words of Moses to Joshua shortly before ascending to heaven, like Elijah. We only have one copy of this document, and it is unfortunately incomplete. There are sections missing, including the end. These old scrolls, since you'd roll them up, the end of the story and the beginning of the story are the parts that are most likely to get lost. I'm going to be using R.H. Charles's translation for today's reading. This is from the 1890s, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get into it. And it came to pass in the 120th year of the life of Moses, that is the 2500th year from the creation of the world, that he called to him Joshua, the son of Nun, a man approved of the Lord, that he might be the minister of the people and of the tabernacle, and of the testimony with all its holy things, and that he might bring the people into the land given to their fathers, that it should be given to them according to the covenant and the oath, which he spake in the tabernacle to give it by Joshua, saying to Joshua these words, Be strong, and of a good courage, according to thy might, so as to do that which has been commanded, thou mayest be blameless before God. So saith the Lord of the world, for he hath created the world on behalf of his people. But he was not pleased to manifest this purpose of creation from the foundation of the world, in order that the Gentiles might thereby be convicted, yea, to their own humiliation might by their arguments convict one another. Accordingly, he designed and devised me, and he prepared me before the foundation of the world, that I should be the mediator of his covenant. And now I declare unto thee that the time of the years of my life is fulfilled, and I am passing away to sleep with my fathers, even in the presence of all the people. And receive thou this writing, that thou mayest know how to preserve the books which I shall deliver unto thee. And thou shalt set these in order, and anoint them with oil of cedar, and put them away in earthen vessels, in the place which he made from the beginning of the creation of the world, that his name should be called upon until the day of repentance and the visitation wherewith the Lord shall visit them in the consummation of the end of days. And now they will go by means of thee into the land which he determined and promised to give to their fathers, in the which thou shalt bless and give to them individually, and confirm unto them their inheritance in me, and establish for them the kingdom. And thou shalt appoint them prefectures according to the good pleasure of their Lord in judgment and righteousness. And it will come to pass in the 6th year after they enter into the land, that thereafter they shall be ruled by chiefs and kings for 18 years. And during 19 years the 10 tribes will be apostates, and the 12 tribes will go down and transfer the tabernacle of the testimony. Then the God of heaven will make the court of his tabernacle and the tower of his sanctuary, and the 2 holy tribes will be there established. But the 10 tribes will establish kingdoms for themselves according to their own ordinances, and they will offer sacrifices throughout 20 years. And 7 will entrench the walls, and I will protect 9. But 4 will transgress the covenant of the Lord, and profane the oath which the Lord made with them. And they will sacrifice their sons to strange gods, and they will set up idols in the sanctuary to worship them. And even in the house of the Lord they will work impiety, and engrave every form of beast, even many abominations. And in those days a king from the east will come against them, and cover their land with his cavalry. And he will burn their colony with fire together with the holy temple of the Lord, and he will carry away all the holy vessels. And he will cast forth all the people, and he will take them to the land of his nativity. Yea, he will take the 2 tribes with him. Then the 2 tribes will call upon the 10 tribes, and will be indignant as a lioness on the dusty plains, being hungry and thirsty. And they will cry aloud, Righteous and holy is the Lord, for inasmuch as ye have sinned, we too in like manner have been carried away with you, together with our children. Then the 10 tribes will mourn on hearing the reproaches of the 2 tribes, and they will say, What have we done unto you, brethren? Surely this tribulation has not come on all the house of Israel? And the tribes will mourn, crying unto heaven, and saying, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, remember thy covenant which thou didst make with them, and the oath which thou didst swear unto them by thyself, that their seed should never fail in the land which thou hast given them. Then they will remember me, saying in that day, tribe unto tribe, and each man unto his neighbor, Is this not that which Moses did then declare unto us in prophecies, who suffered many things in Egypt, and in the Red Sea, and in the wilderness during 40 years, and assuredly called heaven and earth to witness against us, that we should not transgress his commandments, in the which he was a mediator unto us? Behold, these things have befallen us after his death, according to his words, and according to his declaration, as he declared to us at that time, Yea, behold, these have taken place even unto our being carried away captive into the country of the east, who will also be in bondage for about 77 years. Then there will enter one who is over them, and he will spread forth his hands, and kneel upon his knees, and pray on their behalf, saying, Lord of all, King on the lofty throne, who rulest the world, and didst will that this people should be thine elect people. Then indeed thou didst will that thou shouldest be called their God, according to the covenant which thou didst make with their fathers. And yet they have gone in captivity into another land with their wives and their children, and around the gates of strange peoples, and where there is great vanity. Regard and have compassion on them, O Lord of heaven. Then God will remember them on account of it. Then God will remember them on account of the covenant which he made with their fathers, and he will manifest his compassion in those times also. He will put it into the mind of a king to have compassion on them, and he will send them off to their land and country. Then some portions of the tribes will go up, and they will come to their appointed place, and they will entrench the place, renewing it. And the 2 tribes will continue in their prescribed faith, sad and lamenting, because they will not be able to offer sacrifices to the Lord of their fathers. And the 10 tribes will increase and multiply among the Gentiles during the time of their captivity. And when the times of chastisement draw nigh, and vengeance arises through the kings who share in their guilt and punish them, they themselves also will be divided as to the truth. Wherefore it hath come to pass, they will turn aside from righteousness, and approach iniquity, and they will defile with pollutions the house of their worship, and they will go a-whoring after strange gods. For they will not follow the truth of God, but some will pollute the altar with the very gifts which they offer to the Lord, who are not priests, but slaves, sons of slaves. And many in those times will respect the persons of the rich, and receive gifts, and wrest judgment on receiving presents. And on this account, the colony and the borders of their habitation will be filled with lawless deeds and iniquities. They will forsake the Lord. They will be impious judges. They will be ready to judge for money as each may wish. Then there will be raised up unto them kings bearing rule, and they will call themselves high priests of God, and they will assuredly work iniquity in the Holy of Holies. And an insolent king will succeed them, who will not be of the race of priests, a man bold and shameless, and he will judge them as they shall deserve. And he will cut off their chief men with the sword, and will destroy them in secret places, so that no one may know where their bodies are. He will slay the old and the young, and he will not spare. Then the fear of him will be bitter unto them in their land, and he will execute judgments on them, as the Egyptians executed upon them during their 34 years, and he will punish them. And he will beget children who, succeeding him, will rule for shorter periods. Into their parts, cohorts, and a powerful king of the west will come, who will conquer them. And he will take them captive and burn a part of their temple with fire, and will crucify some around their colony. And when this is done, the times will be ended, In a moment, the second course will be ended. The 4 hours will come. They will be forced. There's a blank spot here. And in the time of these, scornful and impious men will rule, saying that they are just. And these will conceal the wrath of their minds, being treacherous men, self-pleasers, dissemblers in all their own affairs, and lovers of banquets at every hour of the day, gluttons, gourmands. There's another missing section here. Devourers of the goods of the poor, saying that they do so on the ground of their justice, but in reality to destroy them. Complainers, deceitful, concealing themselves lest they should be recognized, impious, filled with lawlessness and iniquity from sunrise to sunset, saying, we shall have feastings and luxury, eating and drinking, yea, we shall drink our fill, we shall be as princes. And though their hands and their minds touch unclean things, yet their mouth will speak great things. And they will say furthermore, do not touch me, lest thou shouldest pollute me in the place where I stand. There's a missing section here. And there will come upon them a second visitation and wrath, such as has not befallen them from the beginning until that time, in which he will stir up against them the king of the kings of the earth, and the one that ruleth with great power, who will crucify those who confess to their circumcision. And those who conceal it, he will torture and deliver them up to be bound and led into prison. And their wives will be given to the gods among the Gentiles, and the young sons will be operated on by the physicians in order to bring forward their foreskin. And others amongst them will be punished by tortures and fire and sword, and they will be forced to bear in public their idols, which are as polluted as are the shrines that contain them. And they will likewise be forced by those who torture them to enter into their inmost sanctuary. And they'll be forced by goads to blaspheme with insolence the name. Finally, after these things, the laws and what they had above their altar. Then in that day will there be a man of the tribe of Levi, whose name will be Taxo, who, having 7 sons, will speak unto them, exhorting them, observe, my sons. Behold, a second ruthless and unclean visitation has come upon the people, and a punishment merciless far exceeding the first. For what nation or what region or what people of those who are impious toward the Lord, who have done many abominations, have suffered as great calamities as have befallen us? Now therefore, my sons, hear me. For observe and know that neither did our fathers nor did their forefathers tempt God, so as to transgress his commands. And ye know that this is our strength. And thus we will do. Let us fast for the space of 3 days, and on the 4th let us go into a cave which is in the field, and let us die, rather than transgress the commands of the Lord of Lords, the God of our fathers. For if we do this and die, our blood will be avenged before the Lord. And then his kingdom will appear throughout all his creation, and then Satan will be no more, and sorrow will depart with him. Then the hands of the angel will be filled, and he will be appointed chief, and he will forthwith avenge them of their enemies. For the heavenly one will arise from his royal throne, and he will go forth from his holy habitation, and his wrath will burn on account of his sons. And the earth will tremble, to its confines will it be shaken, and the high mountains will be made low, and the hills will be shaken and fall, and the horns of the sun will be broken and will be turned into darkness, and the moon will not give her light, and shall be turned wholly into blood. And the circle of the stars will be disturbed, and the sea will retire into the abyss, and the fountains of water will fail, and the rivers will dry up. For the Most High will arise, the eternal God alone, and he will appear to punish the Gentiles, and he will destroy all their idols. Then thou, O Israel, wilt be happy, and thou wilt mount upon the necks and wings of the eagle, and the days of thy mournings will be ended. And God will exalt thee, and he will cause thee to approach the heaven of the stars, and he will establish thy habitation among them. And thou wilt look from on high, and wilt see thine enemies in Gehenna, and thou wilt recognize them and rejoice, and thou wilt give thanks and confess thy Creator. And do thou, Joshua, the son of Nun, keep these words in this book, for from my death, my assumption, until his advent, there will be, something's missing here, times. And this is their course, which they will pursue till they are consummated, and I shall go to sleep with my fathers. Wherefore, Joshua, thou son of Nun, be strong and of a good courage, for God hath chosen thee to be my successor in the same covenant. And when Joshua had heard the words of Moses that were written in his writing, as well as all that he had before said, he rent his clothes and cast himself at Moses' feet. And Moses comforted him and wept with him. And Joshua answered him and said, Why dost thou comfort me, my lord Moses? And how shall I be comforted in regard to that which thou hast spoken, the bitter word, which has gone forth from thy mouth, which is full of tears and lamentation, in that thou departest from this people? And now what place will receive thee? Or what will be the sign that marks thy sepulchre? Or who will dare to move thy body from thence as a man from place to place? For all men, when they die, have according to their age their sepulchres on earth. But thy sepulchre is from the rising to the setting sun, from the south to the confines of the north. All the world is thy sepulchre. My Lord, thou art departing. And who will feed this people? Or who is there that will have compassion on them? And who will be their guide by the way? Or who will pray for them, not omitting a single day, in order that I may lead them into the land of their forefathers? How therefore am I to control this people as a father his only son, or as a mistress her virgin daughter, who is being prepared to be handed over to the husband she will revere, while she guards her person from the sun, and takes care that her feet are not unshod for running upon the ground? And how shall I supply them with food and drink according to the pleasure of their will? For of them there will be 600,000 men, for these have multiplied to this degree through thy prayers, my lord Moses. And what wisdom or understanding have I, that I should judge or answer by word in the house of the Lord? And the kings of the Amorites also will then be emboldened to attack us, and believing that there is no longer among them the sacred spirit who is worthy of the Lord, manifold and incomprehensible, the Lord of the word, who is faithful in all things, God's chief prophet throughout the earth, the most perfect teacher in the world, yea, that he is no longer among them, they will say, Let us go against them. If the enemy have but once wrought impiously against their Lord, they have no advocate to offer prayers on their behalf to the Lord, as did Moses, the great messenger, who every hour, day and night, had his knees fixed to the earth, praying and looking for help to him that ruleth all the world with compassion and righteousness, calling to mind the covenant of the fathers and propitiating the Lord with the oath. For they will say, Is he not with them? Let us go therefore and destroy them from off the face of the earth. What will then become of this people, my lord Moses? And when Joshua had finished these words, he cast himself again at the feet of Moses. And Moses took his hand and raised him into the seat before him, and answered and said unto him, Joshua, do not despise thyself, but set thy mind at ease, and hearken to my words. All the nations which are in the earth God hath created as he hath us. He hath foreseen them and us from the beginning of the creation of the earth unto the end of the age. And nothing has been neglected by him, even to the last thing, but all things he hath foreseen, and caused all to come forth. Yea, all things which are in this earth the Lord hath foreseen, and lo, they are brought forward into the light. The Lord hath on their behalf appointed me to pray for their sins and make intercession for them. For not for any virtue or strength of mine, but in his compassion and long-suffering was he pleased to call me. For I say unto you, Joshua, it is not on account of the godliness of this people that thou shalt root out the nations. The lights of the heaven, the foundations of the earth have been made and approved by God, and are under the signet ring of his right hand. Those, therefore, who do and fulfill the commandments of God will increase and be prospered. But those who sin and set at naught the commandments will be without the blessings before mentioned, and they will be punished with many torments by the nations. But wholly to root out and destroy them is not permitted. For God will go forth, who has foreseen all things forever, and his covenant has been established, and the oath which... And the text cuts off there. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the morning of the first resurrection.